I think you're with us, Grappling Ignorance.
Why would he put himself through the logistic nightmare of covering the entire planet in water and making all the a family of people and a few of each species suffer one of the most horrible deaths imaginable?
Yeah, I'm just going to put it out because your audio quality is actually quite poor. But it's a very valid point, and I'm going to give a little shout out for one of my favourite YouTube people, Sarahon06. If you're not subscribed, go and subscribe to him. He did a video recently in which he basically said, if I had all of your God's powers, it would take me 1 minute to sort out all the problems in the world. So why he does this, to play the apologetic, we are not to know the mind of God. God works in mysterious ways. We've lost Donnie by the looks of it. Concordance or Owen, do you want to pick up on that?
You know about the moral aspect of the whole flood thing. I mean, I believe I just said this same thing. God, first of all, being omniscient, should have known.
I don't think it was so much the moral aspect. It was just the practicalities. If God is all powerful, why did he go to the effort of drowning everything? He could have just sneezed and wished it to be true.
He could have done the tabula rasa, just wipe it, and then put it all back. Wish it all into the cornfield. I mean, yeah, it would be just that easy. Start over.
It's interesting, though, that the story is very interventionist. You've got a God who's speaking to Noah directly, which later will be the source of all this drama about, if you want to speak to me, you have to, cover one ear and hop on one foot. God is directly intervening in human affairs in the most obvious way. He's also suddenly decided that humans can't live to be 999. They're only going to live to be 120, which, of course, whatever. It's a God who's directly intervening in human affairs in a seemingly arbitrary ways. He says, I don't want to vie with human spirit. I want things to be the way I want them to be.
Well, again, on that living to 900 years thing, you have to remember that this was written in that base 60 numeric system. And sometimes you can divide it by 10, and sometimes you can divide it by 12. But from what I've understood, who's studied the base 60 numeric system, it doesn't work in that way. It is actually a sliding scale. The larger the numbers get, the larger the math has to get. But that's where you get that from, that ridiculous series of ages. And
I'm referring to Genesis 6:3 here, Aaron. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also was flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. So he literally switched over from people being allowed to live to the 900-somethings to suddenly being only 120 as a maximum age. That's my interpretation.
Yeah, but you could take Methuselah's age and divide it by 12 and get a more accurate figure. You could take Noah's age and divide it by 10 and get a more accurate figure. As I said, it's a sliding age because people didn't live to be 120 when the Bible says they lived to be 120. Most of them were dead before they got to be 60. But I understand your point. I'm not arguing with it.
John, did you want to say anything? Fortunately not. Good. No. Let's move on.
No, I'm just hanging out. Good.
Well, the poll's going well, by the way. Just before we go back to the call, if you haven't taken the poll, have a vote. It's interesting, I think. Grappling Ignorance. Do you want to come back? What?
He's being savaged by chipmunks.
I like that.
You're speaking in tongues. What's going on?
The Lord makes it this way.